What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Comedy Pop-Up Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Antonio. We got a very special episode. We got one of the OGs. We got this dude that I respect greatly. You may know him from his Comedy Central special, also his appearances on King of Queens or Entourage. Please welcome to the show, Jimmy Shubert.
Hey, how are you, man?
Yeah, what's up, man? It's good to see you. Thanks for coming to, like I said, our little cubby hole in Koreatown.
Yeah, it's nice. It's so funny. I always thought we were going to be in a big building, but really, it's just this little cubby hole off the street. It's great.
Yeah. It's next to the place next door used to do income tax and baby clothes.
Income tax and baby clothes, two things that go together, and there's also a barbecue joint and massage place on the other side. So
exactly,
combining
might as well be built into the studio. We could have just had everything together.
Yeah.
So Jimmy, I read the story online, and I just want to get I want to hear from you, right?
Yeah.
So you're working at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Sam Kinison's on stage.
Yeah.
And you ride a motorcycle up to him to take him on stage?
Well, I was kind of backstage, just kind of wheeled it backstage. I was just sitting on it, fucking around, goofing off. And then, Sam was like going over the time, and the manager at the time, Kirk, who was from Thailand, hey, he get off now. And I didn't give a shit that there was Sam Kinison up there. It was late Monday, and I just kind of started the bike up to kind of like drop a hint, and then someone goes, "Are you going to drive that out there?" I go, "I don't know." He goes, "Well, it's never been done before." So I was like, "Okay." Well, you didn't have to say that. And then I kind of dropped it into gear, and I kind of clipped down the 3 steps there. And this was before they had that big Comedy Store sign in the middle of the stage. It was just a curtain. Mm-hmm. And so I clipped down there, and then, he jumped on the back, and I just kind of popped it into gear and hit those 3 steps and pulled it up and made the turn around the corner and drove out onto Sunset Boulevard. And then, I didn't realize he was scared to death of motorcycles. So he had like a death grip on my rib cage. It was like crazy. And then we made the U-turn at La Cienega there, and he goes, "Jesus, you're a crazy motherfucker." and obviously I dropped him off, and a bunch of people had come running out because they heard the bike go out of the building. So they were all like curious. And it was just one of those things. It just happened. It worked out. It could have gone a couple of different ways, but it actually worked out. Our guardian angels were looking out for it, because we could have get hit by a car when we pulled out onto Sunset. We could have crashed. So we pulled it off. We got away with one.
Yeah, and it kind of played into his bad boy image too, right?
I had to drive the bike. All he had to do was fucking hold on. All right, let's not kid each other who the bad boy was. All right, motherfucker. He was a passenger. He was riding bitch on my fucking little fucking 350 Enduro. All right, I fucking had to maneuver that shit. Fuck him. I'm the one who did it. He just got on.
What was your relationship with him before? Was it just very? Was that what?
No. I know. Like, everybody used to hang out at the store. We used to come up Crest Hill. Different times. Comedy was different. There was no social media. Mm-hmm. It was all just kind of a fun hang. Obviously, anybody doing this, you got to have mad respect for him, because it's such a tough thing to do. So, it was like, we would sit around. Sam would come up to the place, and we'd talk about comedy, formulas and stuff. And so me and Marin were there, and a bunch of people. And so, yeah, it was a different time in comedy. Mm-hmm. And so it was, but I knew Sam. We like, at the end of the night, we would all go out to eat. Yeah. So everybody would be like 8 comics there eating, and, and they kind of get friendly and have conversations. And then, I knew him, but that really kind of cemented my thing with him, because I didn't see him for 2 weeks after that. And then I came running into the Comedy Store, the kitchen, and I hear from across the kitchen, "Jimmy Shubert, get over here, you crazy motherfucker." And then he was standing with Lorraine Newman and Randy Quaid, and he told them the story. And it wasn't until I heard him tell the story to other people that I realized how cool that it actually was. It was just something I did, but it was really cool. And it was fun. We got away with it. Like I said, it could have gone a couple different ways, and then I'd be an idiot,
And from there, he started taking you on tour with him? Or?
Well, no, we became friendlier. And then he was going, and then he asked, some of the guys, they were. It was originally him, Carl LeBeau, Mitch Walters, Alan Stevens, and so they offered an opportunity to take a couple guys along with them, and I was one of those guys, and and then I would kind of do the shows, but I also had jobs. I mean, I was on tour, but I had to make sure all the when my bus pulled in, make sure everybody got their luggage. It wasn't anything big, just make sure that everybody's got luggage got distributed, and then you were kind of there to work, but also you get to go on stage at night. So yeah, it was an opportunity.
Yeah. So I mean,
but then eventually I did wind up going on tour with him and doing my thing, and
yeah.
That was just one leg of a tour, but he did 30 city tours, 70 city tours, did secondary and B markets. So it was touring by bus. So it was a great experience, and that was something you could cross off the bucket list was that, you get to go, first off, tour the country on a tour bus, which was fucking awesome. I mean, I've always just wanted to drive across the country in that kind of level of comfort anyway. And then, we get to stay at some nice hotels along the way and it was great. I meet all the radio people. So that's really kind of what, Sam really kind of lent me his audience. And then he showed me how to, I would watch him do radio, and you got to kind of you got the vibe, what it was like to be on tour and all the stuff that went with it and all the extra responsibilities you had. You had to promote your shows and sell your tickets. And so it was a real kind of, baptism by fire. This is what it is. And so, so that the whole goal was to become famous enough to get back to having your own tour bus and going from city to city and stuff. But,
you get that taste of the good life, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I have to do that on my own.
Well, you have to get good enough that you can do that. Whether or not you'll get there is anything. But I mean, if you're able to make a living, some people don't realize, if you're able to make a living doing something you love to do, you're ahead of the game. I mean, I think right now more than any other time in history is you can really set up. I mean, look, we're doing a podcast now that goes out to thousands of people. You do your shows. You talk to 1,000 people during the week when they come to your show. So you really have a direct. I think the great thing about social media, it gives you this direct access to your fan base and people that are interested in your career, that want to see you, that are fans of your stand up, and so they have direct access to you, and you have direct access to them. So it's really kind of changing the game. It's really giving. I mean, I just released my brand new special, Zero Tolerance, on my website. If people go to jimmyshubert.com, the first thing comes up is it's on the Vimeo platform, obviously, but you can rent it, you can buy it, and it's just I think that's going to become the wave of the future, because they're really, if you look at what Netflix is doing, there's I would say probably 15% of those specials are watchable.
Yeah, for sure.
They say, people only watch stand up for 15 minutes, and that's bullshit. That's a bullshit analytic. They only watch 15 minutes of a fucking stand up special because most of the stand up specials they do over there fucking suck.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's watching the Bill Burr special for 15 minutes. No one's watching the Joe Rogan special for 15 minutes. No one's watching a Doug Stanhope special for 15 minutes. But some of these other specials, where they do these specials, they're not ready to do them. I mean, so anyhow, that's what it is. I mean, it's that's going to be a thing of the future. I think more people are going to be releasing their hour specials, and then you can go online and order mine. You can go to jimmyshubert.com and just follow the buttons. It'll take you right to Vimeo. You can rent it for $3.99. You can own it for $9.99. It's beautiful.
It's all direct. You don't got to worry about distributors. You don't got to worry about any of that stuff anymore.
No, you don't. You really don't. And so I think that's kind of the wave of the future, and the thing is just to lean into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My special, not even my website now, it's all HTML5, but it's all social media plugins.
Yeah.
So in my head, all I have to do is kind of give the basic web, and then as long as you're taking care of your social media, you constantly have new content up on your website. So it's like you kind of integrate most of the best, both of the worlds into one, and they can find you on your website, or they can go to social media and hopefully find you there. But it's becoming a different game, and you have to learn how to play it. And because it's very a delicate balance. I mean, people have lost jobs over tweets. You're like, crazy.
Yeah.
Someone lost a job over a fucking tweet. I mean, that's pretty hardcore. But, that's the world we live in now, So someone, I really think that even though you have to do a certain amount of social media, I have this love-hate relationship with it. It's like, but I really do think Instagram, Twitter probably more than all, but Facebook and Instagram are all, internet ghettos designed to eradicate original thoughts or original ideas. They want you to be just like everybody else, and how dare you have an alternate opinion, and then they set the seething hordes loose from all corners of the ethers to come at you with their keyboard carriage and their fucking hashtags, and and try to get you to comply. And I think it's really it's like they call it social media. It's more like anti-social media. Am I right with the anti-social media? Like there's just so much fucking hate out there,
Yeah.
And and obviously, in the comedy community, he's like a guy that we all loved in Los Angeles comedy, Brody Stevens, who obviously, if you were in the comedy scene, you knew who he was. But, he posted something Monday and he listed all these. This was the Thursday before he took his own, but he posted all these negative comments people have left on their fucking Amazon page. And I was on his Amazon's page specifically. And I go, and I made it a point to talk to him both Tuesday and Wednesday just to say, hey, listen, don't pay any attention to that shit. You're one of the funniest fucking guys out here. I mean, but, it's like, you don't realize, there's human beings on the end of your fucking mean fucking tweets and you don't have any connection to it. You can go say whatever the fuck you want and say something mean to somebody who doesn't fucking deserve it, really. Somebody who's fragile. I just think it's we're living in strange times. We're kind of in flux with it. I don't think anybody's really quite kind of figured it all out. I mean, with your negative Yelp reviews. I mean, there's a guy working 90 hours a week in a fucking Subway sandwich shop, and you just go after his fucking dream like Attila the Hun with a keyboard and just fucking leave him shitty reviews, even though he's working his balls off and trying to feed his family. But you didn't get your side of pickle, so make sure you make him fucking pay. Completely forgetting about the fact that your garbage disposal is better than 40% of the people in the free world. I mean, maybe once you could just take a fucking breather and go, it's a pickle. Yeah. Big fucking deal. Yeah. I mean, but it's just, we live in this entitlement and there's all this, I mean, if you watch all this fucking hate for America and all the hate for it's like, I go, what, do me a favor. Anybody who does that has never been outside this fucking country. I've been to China. I've been to Israel. I've been all over the fucking world entertaining truth. I used to do a comedy festival in Acumel, Mexico, which was to raise money for the Montessori, the Mayan kids to get a Montessori education so they could fucking make a decent living. It's the difference between a good education and a shitty education for these kids was to be able to make a living and get out of that fucking cycle of poverty down there. But
which people don't really see too. Like people don't see that the good that you do. Everybody's just going for the throats now. Like that really is the new trend. Everybody's like, oh, he said one thing that I don't agree with. Let's end him. Let's end his career.
Well, you know what the thing is? Then you're setting a very dangerous precedent because yesterday it was Roseanne and tomorrow it's fucking you, and then the next day it's me. Yeah. And where do you fucking stop?
Yeah.
And a lot of it's bullshit. There's a lot of people out there, some of these trolls, some of these resistance trolls, these fucking have like 40 Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
And they'll scroll the thing looking for something to get angry at, and then they attack you with all 40 Twitter accounts. And it makes it look like you got 40 people that fucking hate you. But I don't even give a fuck anymore. I don't pay any attention to it at all. I'll leave your negative comment there. I won't respond to it. I won't fucking interact with you. I won't do it. If you're big enough, dick, I'll fucking just block you. I don't give a fuck what the situation is. I mean, if you can't, we're living in a really weird time. People don't even have a human connection anymore. They can't, they're not able to sit and have a conversation anymore, but they can go on the internet and leave all this hate and negativity where they go and not be held accountable.
Yeah.
In the old days, you'd come in a bar, you'd make your opinion known. Someone would punch you in the fucking face and go, hey, your opinion's been noted and found wanting. Now here's a throat punch and shut the fuck up. But the thing is, people gotten way too comfortable with the fact that there's no repercussions, but there are repercussions. You and all you're doing really is projecting your insignificance onto other people's lives. I mean, you're just projecting all your shortcomings. What you do when you just tell your story. You're not telling my story. You're telling your story about all your broken dreams and all your inadequacies as a human being.
Yeah.
And that why else would you project that on? Why would you project that onto me? I mean, people, they're losers. They're not like people who are out there living their life or fucking doing something. They're out there working with, kids with autism. They're reading books to sick children in hospitals and in some of these, you got people that go sit with old old people at the old age home and talk to them and interact with them and listen to their stories. There's a lot of, you can go feed homeless people. I did that this last Christmas with a bunch of people. Brody Stevens was there, but we all went and fed the homeless because Jamie Masada's been doing that for 39 years.
Yeah,
which is kind of awesome, man. It's such a great, it's such a nice act of kindness, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, it's just, you know, you can choose to live in the world you want to, and I'm gonna live in the world I want to. And I really don't project hate or anything. I mean, I make jokes, but it's just, most of that stuff, it's just fucking hate. And it's like, you know, and based on a political ideology. Like, I love how people get so angry at politics, you know, and I go, listen, you can't fucking, if you're a fucking moron, I mean, seriously, you need to get fucking psychiatric help if you can explain the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans, because I can't tell a fucking difference. I cannot tell between fucking, Coke Zero and fucking Diet Coke. They all want to really just they've all been fucking us over for the last 30 years. The thing they don't get is that's why a guy like Donald Trump got elected, because you people have lied and fucked us over for the last 30 years, the middle class, the working people of this country. And they just had enough. They had enough, and they're still fucking stupid, and they're too stupid to get it. I mean, all this fucking stuff. I fucking clip my fucking cord to my cable boxes and come get this cable box, because all that shit just comes through your TV. It's programs you. Why do you think they call it programming? They want to manipulate you with false ideas and false facts and bullshit. Look, you're a broadcaster. You got a broadcasting degree. Fucking, could you imagine having a fucking broadcasting degree from McGill University, the premier fucking journalism school in the world, and you got to fucking sit around and talk about someone's tweets for fucking 8 hours a day?
Terrible, right?
You're pathetic. Yeah. You read from a teleprompter from a news stories that's written at a 4th grade level, so you can make sure everybody understands what the fuck you're talking about. Whether it's a leaning left or leaning right, fucking, they're all corporate shills. They all got their lips wrapped around the fat throbbing cock of corporate greed, and they can't wait to fucking drive wedges in between us, so we're fucking divisive and we don't like each other based on political ideologies, and that's all a fucking joke.
Yeah,
it's a fucking joke. And if you're out there playing that game, then you're a fucking moron. I mean, really. I'm too busy trying to put food on my table. I'm too busy. I don't know who these people are that have time to go fucking do all this stuff. Like, it's like, I get it, but I get that you're passionate, but some of it now has just become so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta tell you, I've had people walk up to me, like, the last 3 weeks. People walked up to me and thanked me for not being fucking political. They goes, thank you so much for not bringing it up. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to talk about. If you're funny, you can talk about all the other shit. And if they want to see that, they can stay home and they can watch any of the late night talk shows. I just don't. I'm just sick of it. I'm just tired of it. It's hacky. It's generic.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it. Trump has funny hair. Big deal. What else you got? It's generic. I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
No. I absolutely agree. And at the end of the day, how many people are just doing it for the Instagram picture? They want to be seen at the march. They want to be seen doing this. It's like it's an elitist mentality of, hey, I'm better than you because I'm over here doing. But it's like you're not really actually doing anything.
No, nobody. No, it's only shit that you get to see. It's only the good side of it. They don't.
Oh yeah.
You only see the brand new Mercedes-Benz in the driveway that the husband bought for the wife. She's not going to turn the camera on and show you the selfie where she's got a black eye, which is why he had to buy her the brand new car, because he fucking hit her, which is shitty. But I mean, you don't see those moments. Basic. I mean, people think they have no idea. You have no idea what anybody else is going through. You have no fucking idea the pain people are in, the things they got to do just to get through their fucking day. And, it's like this. It is. So these people make these judgments, like you said, based on one thing, on one thing. They try to define Roseanne Barr as a racist. She's not a racist. What she did was made a really bad fucking joke is what she did, which is what she's always done.
Yeah.
But you go after, she's got to have her life ruined. Louis C.K. jerked off in front of a couple girls. They probably had their shirts off while he was doing it. And I know there's a picture of those two girls with the shirts on them while he's jerking off. So don't pretend like he held a gun to their head and they sat in that room. No, they participated in it, and then they fucking destroyed his fucking career. So I mean, it's so weird. Like, that this is like America's favorite pastime is now rushing to judgment based on no facts and deciding who was right and who was wrong in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's the new trend in American. And I tell you the truth, Jesse Smollett.
Yeah.
With that story in Chicago, it's fucking bullshit. He's guilty as fucking sin. He lied. He made it up. His fucking fake hate crime is actually worse than a fucking real hate crime because there are people that are of color and of the LGBT community that do get attacked. You don't have to go make something up, dude. There's plenty of that shit fucking hate out there.
Yeah.
But you diminish their stories with your fake bullshit story. And you lied, and then you lied on top of lying, and then you're lying about it now. And you're a fucking coward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not sure the guy's even a faggot now based on all his fucking lies. I mean, maybe he just says that. I don't even know. But it's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. You know what gave me hope? There was a moment that gave me hope the other day. I was watching NBA on TNT. Do you ever watch that? With Charles Barkley and EJ and all that stuff?
Yeah, because they get it. He knows.
Yeah.
It was a joke. He roasted that dude. But it's like, this guy left a fucking trail. He wrote checks.
Yeah.
This guy never watched an episode of he never watched an episode of CSI or Columbo. at least I watched the Forensic Files, know?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they can have so much information. They have so many cameras around Chicago.
Yeah.
They put this whole fucking narrative together in 2 weeks. They found more about Jesse Smollett in 2 weeks than they found out on Donald Trump in fucking 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how much evidence this guy left behind.
But it was comical. They went into those brothers, the brothers that attacked, that staged the attack. They went into the brothers' apartment. They found the magazines with the letters that were clipped out of the magazines. They still
he sent himself a fucking hate letter.
And they held on to the magazines with the letters cut
Great.
out.
That's why you do crime by yourself.
Oh, it's so hilarious.
But dude, they fucking So he sent a fucking stupid letter to himself. Okay, and then he got the FBI involved. The FBI lying that's a federal offense. That's a federal fucking offense. I mean, Jesse Smollett, he lost his black card, his gay card, and his fucking SAG card in one fucking fell swoop.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
the career's done.
I mean, he's done. I mean, maybe CNN will hire him for his ability to make things up and not report facts. But anyway, that's it.
Well, I want to get into. Although I do love the political talk, and I'm super political too. I want to get into the comedy scene compared to how it was before. Now I know there's a lot of things changing. There's a lot of big dog, especially at the store. The store is a place that I don't get to go to that often, but when I do get to go hang out, it's pretty cool. But how have you seen the store evolve over the years? Do you think it's the same?
The lineups are fucking sick. The fucking audiences are even fucking better. It's a sold out fucking experience every night now. I mean, you could fucking make your living if you're doing a lot of those main room spots. I mean, this week I did Sam Tripoli's Comedy Chaos. The fucking room was sold out, but it was Russell Peters, and it's fucking Theo Von. It was fucking Joey Coco Diaz. I mean, the lineups are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I just think you have to be a part of those lineups. I mean, they get the best lineup. I think they have the best lineups in the city, and only because they do longer shows there. They do longer shows in the Improv. They do longer shows, so you can really get 15, 20 minutes. It's a real,
Yeah, and it's nice.
And of course, all those guys are successful. I mean, Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer and
huge guys.
Yeah, they're there all the time. I mean, and Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, Nikki Glaser, Whitney Cummings. I mean, Chris Rock's popped in there. Louis C.K.'s popped in there. Dave Chappelle fucking stops in and does a stage at in the belly room, which he loves. That's his favorite room. It's a 99-seat room upstairs, which is awesome. He just fucking sells that out like nothing.
Yeah.
And man, it's fucking cool. It's cool as fuck. It's a really. I mean, someone's comedy. Probably the Comedy Cellar in New York and the Comedy Store are probably two most influential comedy clubs in America right now. That's why I think, just because, I mean, you go to the Comedy Cellar, it's like fucking Aziz Ansari, and Amy Schumer, Chris Rock, and David Tell, and fucking, and it's like it's like $1 billion worth of comedy.
Yeah,
with all those,
and even like the guys in their 30s that are coming up, like the Joe List, the Mark Normans, like all these guys are.
Yeah,
they're beasts, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody, it's like it is. There's a lot more people doing. There's a lot more. People are more successful now because of podcasts. But it's the other thing we were talking about is like the event of social media is that you see all this stuff. for like people coming up. I mean, it's got to be rough. I mean, first off, it's a really tough fucking job to get good enough that you can make your living and do comedy at a high level. You really have to work your ass off.
Yeah.
And then you're also going to like the Comedy Store and these other places where you have to see all your friends becoming more successful than you. All these guys becoming, and they're working, you're working, but I mean, a lot of people become more successful and you got to watch that. And then also, and then you have to deal with the trolls on top of it. You got to deal with people fucking throwing negativity your way. Fuck you. And, and this definitely has an effect on someone's psyche. I mean, I was just talking about this with, some folks the other day because, you wonder what the impacts of that are on the human psyche. I mean, like someone said, like moving to Los Angeles now and trying to get into comedy would be the equivalent of trying to climb Mount Everest without even taking a climbing lesson in your life. It's a daunting fucking task. I would tell comedians that, like, look, if you're in Chicago, if you're in Boston, if you're in your town and there's plenty of open mics, you get quality stage time, then fucking do that. Stay there because you're not going to get it out here and you're not going to develop out here. It's like, develop and become the biggest fish in your fucking pond and then fucking move to Chicago or New York or somewhere where you can guarantee. And, because with social media now, eventually you can become like, so big as long as you're creating content and putting content out there and putting, it's all about content now, and as long as you're driving it. And, it's because it's an interesting situation, it's also, but I mean, could you imagine that, like all that stuff on top of like, it's already a tough enough fucking job and you have to deal with the fucking, all this other stuff going on and podcasts and everything. And then you get all the fucking people, all the fucking trolls leaving you fucking, it's a lot. I think, maybe that had something to do, I know that, Brody, a lot of people left those negative comments on his thing, and Don Barris reposted it. And, so I saw that. I made it a point to go out of my way to talk to him about it because I think that's pretty shitty to fucking do that to somebody who's trying to go after the dream, who's working for their goals, who's putting time in and doing their stuff. And then people, just want to fucking shut you down and shoot you, and, just fucking shut you down and cut you off from, you're not allowed to make a living in showbiz anymore because we say so.
Yeah.
It's like, go fuck yourself.
Well, it's a new level, too, of connectivity of, like, you could literally send anybody you want a message. You could send the president of the United States a tweet. Like, you could send that to him. Now, whether he sees it or not, but you have that direct line of access to now, if the people are, like you said, they were hating on Brody, they had a direct access to him, which is something that's a little bit different than it's been
they
in the
left
past.
those comments on his Amazon special, which I thought was fucking shitty. It's like, you couldn't do what he does. You're not even fucking close to as talented he was.
Yeah.
You're not even fucking in the realm of his fucking, just as a human being, okay? And you're going to fucking go out of your way to fucking trash this guy? You're a fucking miserable fuck. And I hope you're fucking happy now. You know what I mean? I hope you're fucking happy. That was your last comments to this fucking guy.
Yeah.
You made him feel like fucking shit. Yeah. So I hope you're fucking happy, whoever the fuck you are.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I spread love, man. I'm all about love. I just, life's too short, man. It really is. And I'd rather go out of my way to encourage somebody who's struggling and to offer them a fucking hand up and to some words of advice or to just talk with them a little bit. Maybe they need to. Maybe sometimes all you need to just do is include people to make them feel fucking special.
Yes.
I mean, it's any of those things are better than the alternative.
Yeah.
And people talk about, well, don't bully people. And then that's all they fucking do.
Yeah.
Is fucking bully people.
Yeah.
It's they're such fucking hypocrites. I think that, at some point, all this stuff is going to go away. We're going to have to unplug from social media and just reconnect as human beings, be able to make eye contact, have a discussion about ideas and concepts and goals and dreams and things you want to make your life better. I mean, because people get isolated now. They really do with social media. You're going to get isolated. You can sit in your fucking house and stare at your computer screen for 8 hours a day and compare your life to other people's lives. And all you're going to do is be miserable. Your journey and your path is your journey and your path, and you should embrace it. Because everything about it's fucking beautiful. All your imperfections, everything. It's all fucking exactly the way it's supposed to be. And it's all connected. Your fucking skill set, your dreams, your goals, the people you meet. It's all connected. We live in this giant human ecosphere, and it's more about, I think, I've been doing some research on the, these that love is the greatest energy on the fucking face of the planet. I'm not trying to sound like a new age fucking douchebag, but it's true.
Yeah.
If you want to have best friends, then be a best friend to somebody. If you want to be loved, then love fucking people. It's not complicated. It's fucking simple. You know what I mean? Don't wish people ill. Fucking wish them the best. Their wins are your wins. You know what I mean? Connect with people. Fucking encourage people. Hang out with people who make you better. Hang out with people who make you want to be the best version of yourself possible. Don't fucking, sit around with your thumb up your ass and judging everybody. Fuck that. You just sit there and watch your TV and wonder why your life's fucking miserable, and you fucking order Haagen-Dazs, you eat Haagen-Dazs and fucking Pizza Hut and wash it down with Coca-Cola and work on your type 2 diabetes while you text your vote in over your iPhone over the AT&T network because someone can sing on The Voice, they could dance with a star, and you fucking realize that that's the new American dream. And when you get so fucking disillusioned, you realize America doesn't represent anything it once stood for, and you call to complain, you'll be talking to some dude in India. Hello, how can I help you? I want to know what's wrong with America. Well, we will connect you with the supervisor. So hold on, please.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking. It's silly. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting older and I'm getting a little wise. I just think it's all that stuff is such a fucking distraction. I mean, I just got past the Magic Castle. I just got fucking, I work at the Comedy Store, the Improv. I do fucking comedy on the road. I got a lot going on. I go out for auditions. I work. I don't have time to focus on fucking hate and all this other fucking crazy shit. And I think most people, look, you want to be happy? Mind your own fucking business. Put your nose to the grindstone. Get up every day and work your fucking fingers to the bone at what it is that you want to do, and don't pay attention to all that shit. You know what it is? It's a giant fucking distraction. It's a giant distraction. That's what they want. They don't want, they don't want, educated, fucking hardcore, hardworking people in their hands. They want you fucking educated in the public school system. They want you to eat McDonald's. They want you undernourished. They want you, stupid. They want, they want you like that's what. Public schools, that's, that you watch some of these reality shows on television, you go, fucking Jesus, that's what happens when fucking Roe versus Wade collides with a democratically controlled school system. You get the cast of the fucking Kardashians. It's like your parents should have taken care of this 26 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's creating a docile environment where it's like that, but that's what controlling is. I mean, historically, that's what controlling is. All these you look at these cult leaders, right? And when most of these cult leaders, I mean, to an extreme, it's like sleep deprivation and that kind of stuff. But at the end of it, it's still that core idea of make them not think straight so that they can be controlled.
Well, yeah, you separate them from their families, and then you fucking, you put them on a steady diet of misinformation. 24/7. You fucking, you get them like sleep deprived, and then you fucking, put your will on them. I think all that stuff reeks to me. Anybody who would do that, it reeks of no self-identity, and that's the culture. Nobody really wants to. I mean, there are some people out there doing it, but most people don't. They don't want to do any critical thinking. They want to, they just want to. They watch a guy like Trevor Noah on Comedy Central, which is a fucking comedy network, not a news network. But they watch this guy jump up on a soapbox and fucking make bad jokes about. And then they walk around like parrots and repeat the talking points. Trump is a racist. Trump is a liar. And it's like, look. Where's the fucking empirical evidence of any of that? Please, let me see some. Yeah. You can't just because rarely in my life have I seen conjecture turn into fucking fact. That's because you want it to be true. Just because you keep on saying it and saying it and saying it over again doesn't mean it's fucking true. Do some critical thinking. Do some big work up top. Jump on the internet. Do your own research. Figure it the fuck out. Yeah. No, everybody wants to fucking just rush to judgment.
Yeah, and that's the point of it too. Just make your own judgment. But I will say, in the vein of positivity, since we did touch on that, I will say that this past week, the love in the comedy community and the people reaching out to each other and really coming together. Well, sure. I haven't seen that before, Well,
sure, because look, what you do is really difficult, and if you do it well, it's special. And Brody was certainly a fucking special guy. I really, you'll hear these themes if you listen to people talk about him. He's once in a one of a kind. Like he was, he was that special. He was also fucking hilariously funny. He was so uniquely original, and I guarantee you, anybody in the comedy community would give their left arm to be as loved and respected as Brody Stevens was. So. The whole he was so connected in this community, and not only just in one area. He was an alt comic, he was a mainstream comic, he would do audience warm up. I mean, Brody was one of these guys who across all the lines that was loved and respected, and really just admired, and so yeah, the whole everybody took a hit.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not gonna stand around and fucking do grieving as a competitive event.
Yeah,
I'm sure he
yeah,
was
yeah.
closer with some people more than he was other people. I've known him over the years. The one thing I'm lucky because I've been at the comedy store, I've watched people come and go and grow and become amazing and go like, Sebastian and some of these guys that just go and become huge fucking stars. I mean, people try to figure out how does that happen? You just put in a lot of work, but Brody was definitely a special guy. And so, yeah, the whole community out here took a hit.
Yeah.
He affected a lot of people and touched a lot of people. And because he was special, he took his time to talk to people, make people feel special. And I think that was Brody's magic.
Yeah.
He didn't feel like he was very welcoming to newbies, to anybody, and he was a good guy, man.
Yeah. So I have this question. Do you think that the hang, because everybody always talks about the hang after a show or during a show, do you think the hang has changed from back then to now? Do you think people are more to themselves, or do you think, because I know at the store it is a big family, like everybody at the store is very supportive of each other, but I just feel like in general in comedy, do you think people are still that supportive, or do you think people are kind of growing?
No, I think everybody, even people are pretending, that they're pretending to support you and they don't support you. That's some people do that as well. I mean, it's like, people are just trying to be your friend just in case anything goes wrong or you pop and become a big star. You go, oh yeah, we were friends.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Be whatever you want in life, be that to other people, and you'll get that back. If you want to support people, and you should.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be. The only person you're in competition with is yourself. You're in competition with your own procrastination. You're in competition with your own shitty food you eat. That if you drink too much, look, you're the only one that can change any of this stuff. And so if, the only person you're in competition with is you. So figure it the fuck out. What do you want from your life? And just go about doing that. And don't worry about the guy who's going up before you or after you. I mean, be a professional. Be fucking good, because I'm telling you, I think that makes a difference. And I think you're right. You've seen it in the comedy community this week. And just because you realize, you take things for granted so much. I mean, Brody was there and now he's not.
Yeah.
And everybody fucking loved the guy. And so it's fucking painful for everybody. And like, I'm sure, like me, like a lot of people have been watching videos of Brody Stevens online and, just remembering him fondly and celebrating his life and remembering him for who he was. You can't do anything else but just honor your friend and think about him, remember him, and laugh fondly for all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, people can also go to jimmyshubert.com, which is my website, and they can order my special. I don't hate to fucking do a shameless plug after that little fucking thing, but yeah, go to jimmyshubert.com. You can order my new special. It's an hour. That's fucking hilarious. It's got a killer opening. It's very funny. And so please, if you get an opportunity, go get my new special.
Yeah. And you mentioned something earlier too. You got passed at the Magic Castle recently?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
I did. So it's just one of those things that I was a magician when I was a kid. I was a magician. So, and I gave it up to do stand up. And then I kind of like 6 years ago went through this like midlife magic crisis. And I started fucking around with the cards. I started remembering all these tricks started coming back to me. And I started performing and I started doing that. And then people were like, get the fuck. And I said, well, if I think I'm good enough to do this, I should be able to showcase. And then you have to go showcase it. You have to audition to become a member of the Magic Castle, a magician member of the Magic Castle, which is a big deal. And so, I went and became a magician member, and it's fucking awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
I love it. I think I'm gonna go up there tonight, actually.
Nice, and hang out. So, what was your first love? Then your first love was magic. Then,
well, no, my first love was the magic. Was able to perform and tell jokes, but I was always like, even at the magic shop, I would always pick up one joke book and head home. I had a little joke file going when I was, but I couldn't do comedy when I was 9 because it's. We're allowed in the comedy club. Yeah. But I could do magic and figure that out and see if I like performing, which I certainly did, and becoming a magician and doing that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like this. And then basically, Then I hung up the wand, retired the rabbit. And, when I hit 18, I wanted to find a room and tell dick jokes. And I did that for a number of years. I toured with Kinison, did the whole thing. And now I just, and now I got back into it. It's just like, I'm sort of revisiting, like, you know, we all have those unlived lives. Like, what if instead of going into comedy, I would have went into magic? What was that life like for me? Or what if I would have stayed back in Philadelphia? I mean, we all as human beings have these like kind of unlived lives that if we made a decision this way or the other way, our lives would have worked out tremendously different. And so I think I think we all have to think about that and examine those fucking possibilities and those lives. What would have happened if I would have put some time in or done it in this regard? Don't get me wrong. I love my life. I love being a fucking stand-up comedian. I love creating fucking comedy. I love making audiences laugh fucking hard. I love what I do. And I love them, you know, still fucking doing it and still rolling. Only because I write so much. You know, I mean, you know, so, but yeah, it's fun.
And it kind of humbles you too to be like that introspective and be like, you know, think about your life, think about these decisions and think about everything. But honestly, everything, that's what it's led up to. It's led up to this, being in a cubbyhole in Koreatown.
Yeah, being in a fucking cubbyhole in Koreatown. Dude, I'm surprised nobody lives in this fucking space. I mean, this is like, you could actually turn this into a, you know, like this could be like a / studio podcasting studio.
If there was a shower here, I'd be here all the time. I would live here.
Yeah, really. If there was a shower,
that's all. That's all I'm missing. All right, so Jimmy Shubert, we're towards the end of the show, and first off, I want to thank you for being here. But
my pleasure.
We're into the quick fire question round, which I got a couple quick fire questions. You just whatever's on the top of your head.
All right,
we'll go with it, and then we'll close it out, and we'll be cool. So, if you could grab coffee with somebody alive or dead, who would it be?
It would be that's such a good question. There's so many, you know.
Yeah, as long as you don't say alive and not dead, because we've had that.
Well, I could do. Well, dead. Probably Jesus. Maybe have a cup of coffee with Jesus. Just talk to him and find out what the deal is. You know, Jesus would be great. Abraham Lincoln would be fucking awesome. That guy, you know, my grandfather on my mom's side would be somebody who's dead. Alive, shit. That's a good question.
For some reason, I'm thinking not Hillary Clinton.
I'll have to think about that one. Next question.
No worries. What smell reminds you of home?
Oh, man. Grilled cheese and tomato soup. That smell of grilled cheese and tomato soup. Fresh mowed grass. You know. Yeah. My mom's cooking was just like, you know, that was like soul food to me. I remember we go on snowy days. We go down Suicide Hill, and sometimes we went in the creek and we'd fucking walk home frozen, like everything's frozen. My mom would always have she'd have hot chocolate, tomato soup, and grilled cheeses. And man, that's like, to me to this day, it's a little bit of, it just takes you back.
Brings you back.
Those tastes, those smells, you know.
Mm-hmm. And so what has been the highlight of your career so far? If you could pick one moment.
A lot of different things, you know. There's some things I enjoy just for me. There's some of it that's, you know, I've made it a point to go and do some military tours and entertain guys overseas in Afghanistan and South Korea and stuff. So I like doing that kind of stuff as a give back. All the charity stuff I do just to help raise money for good causes. I think that's but you know, just being in movies and TV, the King of Queens run was great. I was able to get on Entourage because it's such a tough fucking show to get on. I've produced and taped both my last specials, so I'm really proud of both of them. I really thought, you know, you know, just I'm a regular at the Comedy Store. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah. Getting your name on the wall.
Yeah, but that's been there for a while. But I mean, it's just well, you're asking some good questions. You know, any of those things.
We get deep at the end of the show.
Any of those things is enough to make that I would be proud of. You know,
Yeah.
that I love that I continue to write and come up with good comedy. You know.
Yeah, and I like the Magic Castle thing too because it kind of came full circle of your childhood to your adulthood.
Yeah, well, it's just, comedy is so great. I mean, I just think they enhance each other. I don't think they interfere with each other. I know comedians got like a weird thing about magicians, and maybe magicians have a weird thing about comedians but I just enjoy it. I enjoy the history of it. It's the world's oldest art form, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much history there. I love reading about it. I love fucking practicing my stuff. I love being able to put together a fucking 15 minutes worth of magic that fucking fries people's brains.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing that, and so I like performing up there at the castle and doing some,
Yeah, and those are two professions that people try to ruin quite often through heckling.
Yeah, but that's on them. There are people that would love to be able to do what you do, but they can't.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to fucking ruin what you're doing. They don't have the balls to do it. They don't have the balls to put the time and actually go fucking work on it and do it themselves. So
yeah,
and maybe they just had too much to drink and they just want to ruin it. Who knows? It could be anything.
Like that Pete Holmes thing. It's magnets. It's like you don't know how magnets work. All right, and this is my last question. This is my favorite question to ask. If you could give barely starting out in comedy Jimmy a piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be? This is going back to either your first book spot or your first open mic.
I wouldn't have partied as much as I did.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been a little. I wouldn't have gone. I mean, I got hooked up with Sam Kinison, and not that I was ever, addicted to it, but I certainly partook in it.
Yeah.
And I wish that I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't do that. I just thought it cost me a little bit of time in my career, and certainly I wish I would have, I would have told myself, here's what you do. You get up in the morning, you put your 8 hours in like everybody else. You get up in the morning and you fucking work hard and put your 8 hours in like everybody else. And I would have been doing that from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You do it now, but it's like, you're doing podcasts, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're writing for 2 hours, and I'm practicing magic for a couple hours just because I enjoy it and it calms me down. I'm cooking, I like to cook, I like to do all that stuff. So it's just, it's taken me a little longer to like I have to like beat into my head to have a schedule, like get up at 6, you fucking go work out, you go do this, you go on a fucking walk, you go get your green tea, you go fucking write for 2 hours. You got to come up with get up and put your fucking time in like everybody else. You can't it's not a fucking joke. I would have been doing that 20 fucking years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I would have, like the person that wants it most wins. The person who's willing to sacrifice more wins. I would have been doing that early on. I mean, I got caught up with Sam and that stuff. And don't get me wrong, it was fucking great. It was fucking awesome. I wouldn't trade for the world. I just wouldn't have been as partying as much as because there was I'm lucky to be alive. Thank God. I would tell anybody, don't get involved in fucking those kind of drugs, that kind of stuff. That scene's bad,
Yeah.
And I got caught up in it for about 5 to 7 years. And I'm just glad I don't do it anymore. And I wouldn't recommend it for anybody, any of that stuff. You can't go on stage fucking, with your fucking mind focused and do your thing, because sometimes it's a crutch. People think, I need this to go on stage, or I need a couple drinks to go on stage. Lean into it. Go learn to go on stage. Turn all your strengths into weaknesses.
Yeah.
Turn all your weaknesses.
Turn all your strengths into weaknesses.
And get a bag of Coke and snort it before you go on stage. No,
and that was me being like, yeah, that sounds right.
No. Me and my stupid brain. This is why do you think they call it dope? Why do you think they call it dope? No. I would say take all your weaknesses and turn them into strengths. If you struggle with an opening joke, go out there and don't get the first laugh. I tell people all the time. And you go, what's a great piece of advice you give me? I go, get up every morning and read the newspaper cover to cover. And that way you could go up on stage and talk about anything because you'll be informed. You'll know exactly what's going on in the world. And even from the fucking Help One ads.
Yeah.
You never really see a good Help One ad. Say, want it, lion tamer. Must have own stool and whip. Call Lefty. You can see even in the back of the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I did that. A guy gave me that great piece of advice: read the newspaper from cover to cover for a month, and it really changes your perspective on that. And whether now you can do it on the internet. I mean, you can literally go on the internet and just like kind of. I got it on the Drudge Report. I love the Drudge Report. You just bing, 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 all the like major stories happening in the news today. But also sometimes there's magic in those little stories that happen locally. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where you get the but sometimes you can get there was a woman in Canada who fucking shit on the floor of a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Did you see that video? Yeah,
I did.
I mean, it was like, no, I do a bit about it now. I mean, first time you see that video, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And then after the 11th time, you go, wait a minute, this woman may be on to something. She may be the Rosa Parks of the upcoming customer service revolution that's about to happen in this country,
Well, Jimmy Shubert, I want to thank you so much for doing the Comedy Pop-Up Podcast.
Thanks, man.
One more time, where can people get your special?
They can go to jimmyshubert.com. The special's called Zero Tolerance, and it's really just zero tolerance for fucking idiots and stupidity that we have going on in the culture. It's also available on Vimeo. Just search for Jimmy Shubert Zero Tolerance. You can rent it. You can own it. You can also follow me on the socials, Jimmy Shubert on Instagram, and it's Shubert, Shubert. There's no C in Shubert. It's spelled like the Shubert Theater. And Jimmy is spelled Jimmy, like a fucking normal person. So you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram. You can also go to Jimmy Shubert Comedian on Facebook. And yeah, man, please follow me. Come out, hang out, rent my special. And you will enjoy it. I guarantee you. It's $4 well spent.
Yeah, buy that special. See Jimmy on the road. See Jimmy at the Comedy Store. Also, if you want to keep up with Comedy Pop-Up, all good. We just go to our website, comedypopup.la.com. Follow us on Instagram at Comedy Pop-Up. If you want to follow me, I've been your host, Paul Antonio. You can follow me at the Paul Antonio.
Paul Antonio!
Have a good one. Take care.
Night.
Peace.